As kids go back to school, the fun begins in making new friends. Building that social circle will inevitably include sleepovers. Well, here to help ensure your child is safe, Beverly Hutchison, Executive Director of the Dean Norton Child Advocacy Center. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
So I think about sleepovers, pizza, staying up late, horror movies, but we live in a different world these days too. Yeah. So what is your advice for parents to make sure that their kids are safe when they go away?
You know, I think there are really 3 steps that I would tell parents. First, as you consider sleepovers for your child, check in with yourself. Am I comfortable with this? Am I ready for my child to do this? Then secondly, check in with your child. You want to make sure that your child, and this will depend on their age, right? Knows the rules of your family, your values, knows what to do if they need you, how to get in touch with you, that you've talked through some of those scenarios. And then thirdly, check in with the family that's going to host your child.
Yes, definitely, because when you are making new friends, some of these friends, they come over from previous years, but you are constantly making new friends each year, and you don't have the familiarity that you do with others. So what would be a good way to sort of broach that with the other families before you say yes to your child staying over at their house or their child staying over at yours?
Sure. We encourage parents to ask some questions that are very appropriate when you're thinking about your child sleeping over at someone else's house. You know, calling that parent, those parents, and saying, you know, thank you so much, and tell me about what the plans are. What are the activities that y'all are going to do? Are you going out? Are you going to be home? Because what you want to make sure is that you're comfortable with the situation where you're sending your child. And one of the things sort of in checking in with yourself that I encourage parents to think about is, what if you get an answer to one of those questions that makes you uncomfortable? Suppose you say, well, you know, so what are the plans? And they say, well, we're going out to dinner and leaving the kids home with the babysitter. Well, maybe you're not comfortable with that. So think through what your response might be. It might be, hey, you know what? Why don't you let the girls stay at our house tonight? You know, just flip it.
Yes.
Have thought through some of those conversations in your head, so that when you're in that moment, you can make that decision on what feels right to you.
And nothing is ever set in stone anyways.
No.
So if you really truly are not feeling good about it, let's say they say, well, no, it's okay. We know this babysitter. It's okay to just say, you know, maybe next time.
Yeah.
Right? So I think a lot of people feel bad about making someone else feel bad, and you can't worry about other people's feelings when it comes to the safety of your child.
And I think that's why I say think about what your response is.
Yes.
So you're not caught off guard, and so it's a little smoother. That awkwardness is managed a little bit more. Plus, hosting at your house gives you a chance to get to know this little friend better.
That's true. That is absolutely
and learn
true.
a lot about this child and their interaction with your own child, and might make everybody a little more comfortable for next time.
Yes, exactly. And when the child is at someone else's house, because these days everybody wants to get checked in on and checked in with. So I still do it with my mom. She wants to know where I go, you know, from time to time. So I have a cell phone. A lot of these children are underage. They're young. Do they all have cell phones these days? How do they get a hold of somebody?
I think that's a real challenge. And another thing to cover with your child and with the host. So let's say your child doesn't have a cell phone. They're young enough that you're just not ready for that. But you want them to feel very comfortable calling you at any time to come and get them. Let's say they get homesick. Well, I also cover that not only with the child, but with the host. You know, hey, you know, if my child comes to you, you know, I've told her that if she's uncomfortable, if he's uncomfortable and gets homesick, just to ask you if they can borrow your phone to call me. So go ahead and cover that with the other parent.
And always exchange numbers. I know parents do this anyways, but you know, make sure you exchange numbers. You have a nice long list of every possible person you could get a hold of if you need to.
Right.
And then during the sleepover itself, everyone's having a good time. It's fun, lighthearted, but a child also needs to be aware of their boundaries. So how do you?
So that's something you're going to want to do before they go. You know, before they go for their first sleepover, you want to make sure that they know what those boundaries are and that you've actually talked about them. You've named them, you've labeled them. You know, at our house we do things this way. At our, you know, if you're ever in a situation where you have, sometimes we call them uh-oh feelings, especially with younger children, to trust their uh-oh feelings. And you know, if you're in a situation and you get kind of that yucky feeling,
yeah,
call me.
Yes.
Get in touch with me. I'll come get you wherever you are, anytime, any place.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's actually
Listen
a
to your
great thing
gut.
to establish with a young child, so that when they become teenagers,
Yes.
they inherently know, oh, I can call home. They'll come get me anytime, any place.
I love that. Thank you so much, Beverly.
You're
Always
welcome.
great to see you.
You too.
Have fun on the sleepovers. We're back after this.